With WWE getting praise for their recent name changes and Tyson Fury hoping to knock out Drew McIntyre, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John and you're watching the Wrestling Report for April 24th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at WrestlingHubOfficial and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. To celebrate 20 years with WWE, Randy Orton sat down for a video on the company's YouTube channel, talking about some of his greatest matches. John Cena was brought up given their many encounters, as Randy would note that he misses him. I love John. He was my favorite opponent. Coming up through my career, I learned a lot from him. I just remember it being like every other match I had with John, especially big match John, whether it was Manias, SummerSlams, Royal Rumbles, you name it. He always had the crowd in the palm of his hand. It was a little because they loved him so much and they hated him so much. He really knew how to get those emotions from them. So it was not just some coincidence. Dude's a genius. I miss you, John. I miss you. Orton went on to note what he will be remembered for. You know, a lot of people ask me what my legacy will be. I think if we were talking WWE, more specifically, my legacy will be that I was the next guy after The Undertaker that was the only person that never went anywhere else and had more matches, more titles, more accolades. Those that have been following WWE programming have seen a slew of name changes, like Austin Theory losing his first name and former NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez having her last name become Rodriguez on SmackDown. While some are not happy with these alterations, former WCW President Eric Bischoff gave props to WWE, saying this was the right move. If he was Walter in his indie career and he's going to be Walter on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, then there's a cloud over who owns that trademark. WWE doesn't want to have intellectual property, talent, storylines, creativity, promotion, all the other things that go into the value of building that intellectual property if they don't own it. Who would do that? That would be the same thing as you or I deciding we're going to rent a piece of property, a beachfront property, we don't own it, we're going to rent it, and then we both decide, I know we're only renting that property, we don't really own it, but let's build a house on it. We built a big, beautiful home on this big piece of beachfront property, and then the guy that owns the title to the property shows up and goes, "This is awesome. You guys did a great job. Built my dream home on the property that I own. See ya, here's your eviction notice." You've invested all of this money on a beautiful home, on a piece of property that you don't even own. In this case, Walter is the property that they don't really own, and in this case, Gunter is the home. I can assume that there was an attempt to trademark Austin Theory, and for whatever reason, it's possible that that trademark was denied and could have been challenged. Who knows? We don't know. So they adjusted on the fly and went with Theory instead as a wrestling-related character. I kind of dig it better actually. I like those kinds of names. I like simple brands that aren't necessarily traditional first and last names. I liked it when they did it, and in terms of the reasons why they did it, too much we don't know to speculate. On the Wrestling Perspective podcast, FTR was asked about a report from Fightful that WWE had expressed interest internally about bringing them back. AEW has an extension clause for a year that is expected to be announced before their deals are up in the summer. As Dax Harwood had this to say about it: "We didn't need any damage control. I think both companies are in the business of getting talent and getting talented talent, not just any talent. And I think they've seen the wave we've made, especially in the last 8 to 10 months. More so in the last 4. So yeah, why wouldn't they put feelers out? Why wouldn't they ask about it? Here's the thing, we respect Tony so much. We would never, in a million years, while we're under a contract with a company, would ever go behind his back and talk contract status with anybody else. No other company. We would never do that to him, because we have too much respect for what he's given us and what he's allowed us to do. Now on the flip side of that, we're going to go where professional wrestling takes us, and wherever the best opportunity is for us, wherever we can build on our legacy. That's the most important thing. Obviously, money is really cool. I'm allowed to take care of my wife and daughter, but whenever we initially got the contract offer from WWE, I called my grandmother and I told her how much it was, and I told her I think I'm going to turn it down. And her exact words were, "David, how much money do you need?" I was like, oh my god, she's right. My dad and my mom busted their ass to take care of me. If they can do it, I can do the same thing, and I don't have to do this. I do it because I love it. So we're going to go wherever the love of professional wrestling takes us. Since leaving WWE, Matt Cardona has won many titles on the independent wrestling scene. During a recent AIW match against Josh Prohibition, Cardona would be confronted by his opponent's daughter, who ended up being too much for him to handle. Prohibition would write after the fact, "I didn't get the outcome I wanted, but I couldn't be more proud of my daughter, Sophia, for sticking up for her dad. Ride or die. Family forever." With Xia Li recently turning heel on SmackDown Wrestling News.co is reporting that there could be more turns to come. This is the latest example of plans suddenly changing in WWE. We're told that fans should expect more turns for several stars in the coming weeks as Vince McMahon feels that some of the talent is being miscast right now. PW Insider would also report that WWE had a survey where they asked fans if they'd be interested in behind-the-scenes looks at how the company is operated and if they'd like a ranking system for talent. During a previous appearance on the MMA Hour, AEW star MJF would mention when his contract is up and that he'd be willing to sign with WWE. This would cause tensions with AEW president Tony Khan, reportedly due to MJF not informing the company about this interview beforehand. Recently, MJF was at a wrestling convention in Liverpool, England, where he was asked whether he sees himself in WWE down the line. It's an interesting question. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but on January 1st of 2024, I'm going to be a free agent. Who here would want to see me in WWE? So let me explain something to you people. I did not get into this business to make any of you happy. I got into this business to make as much money as humanly possible. And if Vince Kennedy McMahon is willing to shell out more money than Tony Khan, then yes, I would go to WWE. MJF also had a moment signing autographs for fans where one person tried to get him to sign an action figure of his former associate Wardlow.
You get that, I'll get that.
MJF would react on Twitter after, writing, "Play stupid games, win stupid prizes." Coming off his most recent victory, WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury looks to be done with his professional boxing career. He has many options in front of him as he's been going back and forth online with WWE superstar Drew McIntyre. During the post-fight press conference, Fury was asked about potentially returning to WWE for a match as he said, "Don't rule me out of fighting there. You might see me at SummerSlam. I got to speak to Vince and the boys. I know McIntyre has been saying a lot of things about me. I'll have to knock him out like I did his pal. I'd love to be at Cardiff. I enjoyed it last time in Saudi Arabia, so to come here and do it would be incredible." A live event for Cardiff has already been announced, with Drew McIntyre set to face Roman Reigns for the undisputed title. Is there truly a better way to celebrate a wedding than putting another man through a table? Chris Jericho would react to a video from A_Punia5 on Instagram showing him and a man pretending to be Jericho go at it. Here's the video.
For those of you who don't know me, I am Chris Jericho.
Jericho would write, possibly the greatest wedding reception ever, except for the fact I had to do the job to The Rock. Again, congrats to Andrew and his lovely bride. With Virgil previously announcing that he suffered 2 strokes unknowingly, there was a claim online that the pro wrestling legend passed away 2 days ago, as Virgil responded, "This is not true. I'm alive and meat sauce is running through my veins. Am I well? No. I need help getting through this difficult journey. Can I ask my fans to help? Can I ask you to share the word about me? I'm a hard-working hustler. When you take out my ability to do all that, it hurts me from the inside and out. To help me out, my link in bio. Love you all." And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.